Alright, so that little acting sketch is leading me to what I wanted to discuss. And that is, everybody seems to be running around like they don't want to be found out. Everybody's running around like they're scared to admit that they watched pornography. Everybody's running around wanting to be perfect in the approval system. Remember, we've talked about this. The approval system means going to the right schools, making the right type of grades, getting the right type of job, the right type of company, living in the right type of neighborhood. All that stuff requires approvals. We think that they're rites of passages, but they're nothing more than maybe wealth building, but not even building character. So folks are saying they have a loss of psychological masculinity because Donald J. Trump is president, but yet, you know, who can hide, or who thinks that they should make people not hide, you know, and controlled people's choices of hiding their shame or being in their shadows of prejudice and having secrets about not liking parts of themselves, because when they see something in you, they push you away because you're uncomfortable. But because you're showing up and you're cool about it, they can't wrap their minds around that. So here is the jewelry. We feature my Tyler Hamilton designs all the time. This is for sale. I'm not going to get into the price of it, but it's pretty gorgeous. This is black lava. And I can get into more description when it comes to my gallery and what's up for exhibit versus what's up for sell, what's on the celebrity auction, and where can we go to Hamilton Products and learn about his different publications and topics that he's interested in. So, men can't help themselves, and they're still believing that they have to help themselves, and they don't want to show you what they don't want to show you. But they want you to see what they want you to see, such as the feather in my hat. Okay, so that's the message that we just did. So, putting that aside and getting into who we are. So real men need to learn how to get men to run the men's movement. And all the men are scared to walk into what? A leadership position, because it might be found out that they did a sexual scandal, and so it's better just to be a loser, to have the loss of psychological masculinity, and not strive for excellence, because you only need a D plus or a C minus or a D minus to pass the class, so why pursue excellence? Just give the minimum. So people do settle. It's not that they don't settle. Now for gay men that are cruising, that are looking for sex, they what? They don't settle because they have a level of intelligences. Men are scared to sit with themselves and see themselves not move. And so in their aloneness, they decide that they need to learn from themselves based on what? Reflecting, looking back. Now, when you look back to drive backwards, that's different. But when you look back at the small driver's side mirror window, and you see it smaller. Okay? So when you look in the front, you see the big steering wheel, and you see the traffic and driving correctly with a big road in front of you. But in the back, you see very small. That's like when you look back to your reflection. You can only reflect so long, go into so much of it for deliberation and intellectual and social philosophy and the value of religion. If there is a sacred space, okay, I understand. But we're not shaming anybody, even if it's just dark memories that you live in because of post-traumatic stress disorder, what have you. If I put in dentures, I can barely speak. Much better. The American dream within the American Madonna whore culture demands for you to have a post-LGBTQ, Q for questioning, a post, whether you think abortion is right or wrong movement, even a post-men's movement, even a post-Caitlyn Jenner movement and a Donald J. Trump movement, and the main threat is our grids collapsing. Okay, so post-nuclear, post-world peace. So where would you be if it's heaven on earth? You would be living in a Candlestein reality. And you say to yourself, wouldn't you just know it? Well, next time you will know it, because now you know what it feels like to be in love and to be around love and to have people that are your true family, and they're over what you would be able to hide because they have the same demons, and you all can have orgies with the same demons if you wish. I'm just joking. Shock rock. Dry sense of humor. People don't like people over people because those people are busy pleasing themselves. And due to jealous Christianity and being a stick in the mud with your head up your ass because you're very selfish, and when God gives you a larger house, it means God's blessing you more. But if God's not giving you a house, you've been cursed because your God is a materialistic God. Your God is also a racist God. Okay. People are jealous of people because of what Christianity put them into, believing about gay is wrong. You can't enjoy your life. You cannot enjoy your life. You have to talk and boast over yourself when you discuss things with people because you don't want to get angry at yourself when your goals are not fulfilled. And hi, hello. Hi, how are you? Can I call you back? Can you give me 15 minutes? Will you pick up the phone if I telephone back? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, bye. Okay, so, excuse me. People pass you by and are not really your friends and family. People pass you by that if you were in a different state of affairs, they would still pass by and blink their eyes to your homelessness or to even your pain. So, in Brazil, it could have been Noroeste Brazil, northeastern Brazil with a lot of poverty. There was this woman walking across the street with business attire. And parts of Brazil are very poor. And she was on a cell phone. When she got hit, I know, they found that her cell phone was just a toy. And she was make-believing that she was American. Then she laid in the street or the corner for like 20, maybe 40, 30 minutes before rescue came, for a paramedic, for an ambulance. So when you're honking the horn on people and passing them by because you're impatient, it doesn't mean you're going to get to somewhere, because it is a race to nowhere. I need people to know that they will come back to themselves, but you know, if they're ashamed about having modeled fat because they're 500 pounds with modeling naked nude cards, and they submitted their naked pictures to people to go into prank stores and things like that in junior high, you know, Forever 21 type of stores. You know, just because if somebody thinks they have to shame themselves and hide from having modeled like that to make money, then you're getting the whole thing wrong. I mean, whether you're a dyke or you're not a dyke, you know, in universalism and existentialism and love and Jesus Christ is that we don't have a jealous people of those that are living their best or being gay. That's not something that you will find when you begin to mature and have conversations with people that you normally would not have. So in this whole thing of letting people see what they want to see is not necessary in a very social world because of the things that have happened. We must be patient with ourselves. We must, excuse me, I could barely even, dentures, what about dentures in the brain? That much better? We can offer different types of charts, okay? And this is why the topic is over this, different types of charts. Letting people see what you want to see, or hiding what you think you can hide. You know, these are things having to do with your uncertainty about your, pardon me, about your identity. So when you're patient with yourself and you believe enough in yourself that money will take care of itself, and you have faith that you will not be thrown away or taken to the streets because people don't like you. This eyeshot is a pain in the ass. Came out horrible. So when we do different, so in the self-assessment and the self-alchemy and the self-governance, you see, you have different charts. And the different charts will range from things that are related to our theories, social science theories, original theories with the men's research, social science movement, so to speak. And when we have charts, we're able to have self-improvement charts, behavioral modification charts, even civic beautification charts to help you get back into giving back to society after you've worked through your mental health wellness charts. You know, mental health misery is something that a lot of people have, and so we need to have a mental health nursery. We need to nurse ourselves back to life, and when you do that by hiding the wound, you can't get the wound to heal, you can't get air to it, and you can't put bandaging on it. See, Tom Cruise is just like us, and he is in charge of the biggest men's movement. To talk. Excuse me, no dentures. And you take a man like that who's wealthy and cocky, it couldn't work without those elements, and he knows that. And we're supposed to be ashamed about talking about his money. You know, who would not want to marry Tom Cruise in the gay community because he has great money? Well, you know, he's also a hot man. Well, also, he's a good guy. He's a control freak. People say he's crazy because he wants to do well for people, and he's a perfectionist because he wants to do well for people. And he wants to do well for himself, and he happens to get paid by being a good guy. Well, people say he can make or break you, and these charts and knowing what people hide, he's a real case study, or case in point. You don't hurt yourself to suffer when down on yourself because of looking at people like Tom Cruise and knowing he's better than you. And now going into the future being scared and not knowing how to be okay with yourself and to be quiet with yourself and to learn to hear from yourself because of now not being able to hide. So, Tom Cruise, the different charts we have, he was sold a sales pitch for Scientology. Jesus Christ does not sell, and he doesn't have a sales pitch. Jesus Christ was broke and homeless through his ministry. Even when he resurrected from the cross and he was in the tomb, he was still basically broke and homeless. So he was very dependent on people, such as being dependent on a government, in order to do good and to have a pure heart. That was the economics that he took. However, social laws do change. We accept gay people. We need to get back to loving people. And the problem is that people take everything so seriously, and they become nitpicky, and they put a law that they think Jesus has over people. They put that law over people. And people now do not tolerate desperate people, because people are belching stories that people don't want to hear, because people don't really want to know of people having meltdowns. because it beats them up, because it makes them guilty, and it shows them that they don't have to put the car in reverse, but they can go forward, but they can consciously know that they have done bad, and there's probably karma that they're going to have to work through. Now, Tom Cruise could have maybe 2 more movies. He just came from out of Mission Impossible, Fallout. And his stunts were ranging between repulsive and disgusting to very rude to some people, because he was throwing himself around like he was able to do that, and this could create suicides for people when they think they can jump out of windows, because Tom Cruise can do it. So in your mental health wellness support, you have to have anonymity, but in a safe place of those you trust. It is a camp. It is a group. It is a place where you can learn about routines so you can start thinking well. It's about rewiring the brain. And so knowing that we have a loss, it could be materially or with looks, in comparison to Tom Cruise in his 50s. Tom Cruise could easily have a big run-in with himself because he has to experience a midlife crisis that he never experienced. He might find that he's getting less work because he's typecast as being a haughty stud hero, but he's getting older and he's not getting as many roles. So Scientology is expecting twice the amount of millions of dollars over the course of the next 30 years for him. Okay, I'm being very lenient on Church of Scientology because I'm not here to talk bad about Scientology, because churches need money to survive. So in the event that their hand is in his back pocket, let's just be really upfront about that. It's a Madonna horror culture. It's a Madonna horror culture. And so, you know, if somebody's hands are not in your back pocket, then they're in your purse. If they're not in your purse, then maybe they're in your panties. Joke, joke. But that's kind of like the working chart that we have to work through in behavioral issues, where we go toward beautification, modification, to help our town, to help our cities. See, Tom Cruise has the same fears as all of us. And he really is seen larger than life right now. And a lot of people see, because of Donald J. Trump having a home in Beverly Hills, and Tom Cruise being known to have a place in Beverly Hills, and then some other celebrities that are said to be closeted. I'm not naming names. But, you know, people are always putting down Richard Simmons. And folks are, even if you don't think it's an issue, are putting down, you know, Richard Gere and things like this. But in the whole celebrity studies that we've held on to, and the science and the sociology of fame, according to Lady Gaga, and or the social psychology of fame, according to Tyler Hamilton, myself, yours truly, you're paying off credit cards a little bit more every month, and you're freeing your life, so you don't have to be in psychobabble. And you could do the things that are philosophical, that support this work. I encourage you to put your tithe back onto yourself. Don't put them to us. We don't want your money. The same fears of becoming successful and being scared of success and not eating right, but eating poorly, and learning to not think right, but thinking poorly, makes you understand how fear for you is crippling. Even if it's affected your diet, it's become crippling. This is about helping yourself when people tell you that you can't unlock yourself and you can't become lucky when you are an unlucky man with the men you have met. And so setting yourself up in dangerous places is wrong, men. The bathrooms, the truck stops, the glory holes, the bushes, the nude beaches, the Macy's bathroom in San Francisco, you know, and please, you know that putting yourself in and of your fears and running lights, choo, 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 and talking about your fear and making cottage industry out of it, but you not being successful to overcome your fear is because you haven't opened the heart up to love. And not only just being away from what you don't want people to see, such as maybe what Mr. Cruise may be facing, The turnaround is that people can think they're shit, but hide their greediness and refuse to see it. So at Social Alchemy Project Access Management, we have journals, we have notes, we have tallies, documents, you know, what you believe is right for you. When we're looking at the rewiring of our brains and looking at different charts to see by that infrastructure set, when you begin your social arts theory, treatment, practicum, what have you, you are successful at what you do. So I believe that whether you smell your shit, you know it's there. I want you to know it stinks. And to be selfish and not care about that is being self-protective of your narcissism and your culture of narcissism. People need to get over some very big things. Because in your mind, you're expected to do a global tour in yourself and see, you know, where you came from and if you've traveled and met great people, different ages, demographics. And stand up to the people in your mind and who are in your present that think that their self-protection is better than being honest with you. They're being self-deceptive in order to be wise about their money is about not being straight with you and not respecting you, really, because they're not being honest with you. You must understand people, but don't want to be in a self-acceptance that it's okay to talk about them as a sense of empowerment. You know, you got to warn yourself of the details because we take things personally. And that's very human. But if you are gloating or bloating of how great you think your life is and how much you love yourself, but you can't leave $100 on the corner of a liquor store, then people don't want to sincerely welcome you into their life and into lifelong friendships. People are looking for love. It's not the money. And they want to put the lifelong friendships in their lives and include you on their days off. See, whether you believe Satan is calling you hard or not, is that if something gives you so much satisfaction that you become an addict over it and it's out of balance, like alcohol, or like a good thing that can turn bad because you're putting too much of it in your body, you know, like the neem tea, you know, this is amazing healing, okay? And it's part of the treatment that I give my clients. So that men can go forward. We have men learning that there are questions to gain in the infallible truth, in the mask that you take off to see that you are a clown, or the smiles is what matters, and knowing love, okay, and understanding the anger, okay, understanding the frustration, but you can see that all things are temporal, transitory, and fleeting. This too will pass, and it does get better. These are ideas that have come into the public view in the last 30 minutes. So you have this self-realization in the validity of Jesus Christ, total love. And people don't care for you anymore unless you have money. But you can have a dream standard. Okay, that's why in some of the work I want you to be encouraged to look at the pretend. What is the pretend? What is the fantasy? And when do you go to it? And what do you get back? Are you getting love? Are you getting satisfaction? And are you really living your bliss? That's one thing that you'll need to do is find out, you know, who's living their bliss and who's not living their bliss, and try to contribute to their lives. It's okay to be a non-racist, everybody. You don't have to be a fighter against people that aren't like you. It's okay to like gay people. Okay. It's okay to serve a non-racist God. And tell your non-racist God that you are sorry that you slandered your family or yourself or him, the Godhead, the Trinity. But their racist Christianity that people use against you kills any type of skills you have to cope in life and tells you that you are nothing, so you can't be yourself, and you will go to hell. This is not your way to heal yourself and use it through slander. To put it in interest, I can barely speak. Oh, thank you. You want to be helped to be happy and to be more you in the mysterious things that happen in your life. And you can have a lighter heart because you're not going to be homeless. And you're not going to go back to crystal meth and your prostitution. So you tell God that you need to not be jealous of people in your family that have more money than you and their money-oriented successfulness. Because your heart is aching, because you do not have loyal cousins or relatives or lovers, or even if you're alone, friendships or neighbors or Christians that you know at churches that you want to help you. So you hate your life, you feel lost, and you need somebody to help you see yourself differently and help you ignore all the douchebags in your own head that you create to yourself, which is the devils. Those in your family that may not be cool, K-E-W-L, cool, versus C-O-O-L, cool, and to not like the people that don't celebrate you because they do not feel happy about their lives in their racist bullshit Jesus. So fuck them. They're motherfuckers and can go to hell because they're not letting you see yourself for who you are. The most of the Americans that you're dealing with have been marked as classless, must admit it, and go out of their sick little games to help themselves. So men are lonely, such as yourself, and you are sincere. Because people want to be perfect, and you like them jealous of you, but now you're lonely today. Do you see the infallibility? The immortality there, the sin. So you are surface, and you are of superficiality, and you are an ass. So do you preserve your life being selfish, or do you pursue your life by conserving your life and not being selfish, but being selfish for survival purposes? And what is self-culture? When you develop and invent to enjoy and to let people share in the satisfactory invention. So you have social dissonance because people are jealous, because people are living pleasure that other people wish they had, like the Christians that refuse to let themselves have pleasure. So seeking pleasure and being jealous and not being an alchemist and doing a chart will make you what? Everyone's bitch. Everyone's life is busy, but not with you unless you can become their bitch. So you have to see that, are you needing to ask the question and gain an answer on whether you are spoiled rotten and selfish, greedy and corrupt, privileged person seeking buddies of the same evil, that there are really no friends between you and the buddy. So you have gratitude that you did one day make money off of them, even though you don't care that their heads are up their ass and they died of AIDS. So you must grow up and be a man and not father people, but learn to father yourself, because you're coming from out of a place of ugliness and you're seeing people through the wrong lens. So you have needing this, to barely get this out because I cannot speak because I need dentures. You need the cultural sensitivity training for an LGBTQ culture, but you need to go post-LGBT at the same time. And that is where the Hamilton University College of Social and Behavioral Sciences can help you. In the meanwhile, though, what I'm introducing to the public is mostly Social Alchemy Project Access Management, which runs the church, runs the university and everything. Pagans, those of mysticism, Wicca, spirituality, demonic activity, those that have the veil over their eyes, elaborate deception, no respect for yourself, you can't stop from eating, yours truly, the Virgin Tyler Lord Hamilton. Because men lack education. In this case, at Social Alchemy Project, I could barely even speak. Oh, it's because I have so much information I'm trying to articulate around our learning community and bring you to understand that there is this, of course, social spirituality, but there is this growth that you're working on. Oh. Hello? Hello? So I need to wrap this up, but basically I'm just telling people they don't respect themselves and they're more than welcome to come from a place of bona fide authenticity and cross-dressing and to pursue their personal affairs with other men and stand in the middle of codependent religion and stand up for yourself, respect your life, and learn to respect others enough so that you can't help from being yourself because you're genuine and you're not defeated. You're not going to be homeless. You're not going to go back to crystal meth or die of HIV or AIDS. And gay men must respect or accept themselves now because they're willing to see themselves. So many men are unwilling to see themselves. And you can't feel bad about that because people are desperate and we don't need to be hiding. So this has been the lecture today and how I'm going to be creating new charts for people so they can identify certain problems that could ultimately help men like Donald J. Trump and yours truly, Tom Cruise. Because I think he's going to be getting ready to maybe see himself as an attention whore, and his career made him a certain type of image to sell his goods, and he can't be a whore anymore, and he has to change, and I think he should get out of religion and get out of Church of Scientology and acting and pursue politics because he's willing to talk about stuff he sees in himself. I think he's a very creative man. I think he has potential of sharing the secrets he shared with Scientology, and he could probably write a book and create a policy up in New Thought Christianity or New World Christ Church or something with Social Alchemy Project, at being yourself alchemist, getting people to see behavior. Anyways, I'll talk just one moment. So, one moment, okay? 1 second. Okay, so I'll talk to you soon. Those are all the little tips and secrets and bits that we share with you. So I love you. Mwah. And remember, I'll always take the bullet for you to show you that you can love yourself.